Is this thing on? Wiki, wiki, wiki. What's up everybody, Mark Jancic here with Active Duty Passive Income. Here's another video about my real estate investing journey while on active duty in the Marine Corps, and also some of the tricks, trials, tribulations, successes, wins, and awesome stories from our team. So if you're not familiar with Active Duty Passive Income, make sure you look up our website, activedutypassiveincome.com, our Facebook group, all the links, free books, resources, and awesome things will be there as well. Let's get into today's episode, and that is all about the positive mental feedback loop, or basically how do you keep taking the next step even when it seems like you're failing or everything is super hard. So make sure you watch to the end. This is going to be filled with some serious golden nuggets. If you're unfamiliar with who I am or what my mission is, I'm the founder of Active Duty Passive Income, or ADPI, and we are the premier military real estate investing education platform and community. And we are all about helping military and service members and their families thread that financial freedom needle, so to speak, forwards and keep getting closer to becoming very, very wealthy, even while in the military. On this channel, you'll get the front seat to my real estate investing journey. I'm going to be as transparent as I possibly can be, so please drop comments, like, subscribe. If you have any questions, if you want to see the next video, if you want to know what's going on with me or my team and what it is that we're doing on a day-to-day basis, make sure you keep tuning in. Okay, again, the positive mental feedback loop. This is a term that I heard for the first time from Chris Coker from the Suit Soldier podcast. And I was talking about real estate and why I was such a fan of streams of income and creating assets even while in the military. He was asking me what it is I do when I don't know what the next step is, or when I fail, or whatever. It was something along those lines. And I described to him that I basically just look back at a previous situation when I succeeded when I didn't know what the next step was. What I would do to just keep pushing or to take the next step the next day is I would just look back at a previous time when I was in that same situation. Martin Luther King said something along the lines of, and this is just a paraphrase, I'm not quoting exactly, but you don't have to see the top of the staircase to take the first step. Now, again, knowing that and understanding that parable or that example doesn't really help you take the first step, right? That's not a tactic, that's a strategy. And it says, yes, this is what you do. You don't need to see the top of the staircase to take the first step. Okay, great, got it. That is a strategy, but what makes you take that first step? For me, the actual tactic, again, is reminding myself of a previous time. And what that does is it gives me enough gumption, warm and fuzzy and courage. It gives me a little jolt of action because I remember the emotion I felt back then when I had accomplished that task or I had succeeded in that certain purpose in my life. And I remember the feeling of looking back and being like, wow, I had no idea where I was when I started, or I did not know what the next step was, and wow, look at how far I've come. And so what I would do is I would apply that to the current situation. I'd be like, hey, I have no idea where I'm going or how far it's going to take me or how hard it's going to be, but I'm going to love that feeling of when I'm down that path, and I'm going to look back at where I am right now. And so when I described that to Chris Coker, he was like, hey, that's the positive mental feedback loop. And I was just like, bing, love that. That is the term I'm going to use. I wanted to add one more thing into this video. I used to play piano for about 6 or 7 years when I was in Ukraine. And one of my teachers, she was amazing. She actually taught me how to play piano while having like terrible arthritis, like crippling arthritis to her hands. She was actually a violinist, but she was just so good at music that she somehow with her crippled hands could still teach my brother how to play violin, my sister how to sing, and me how to play the piano, and then have us all do like trios. Anyway, I once asked her, I was like, hey, ma'am, I don't get why you always look at me and ask me questions in such a sincere and inquisitive way, as if I have some information that you don't know, or that I am smarter in some way, or that you pretend that you're not that smart. And I was like, you know so much. And she said, look, she took a piece of paper and she drew 2 circles. I'll never forget this. One circle was really big on the paper, one was very small. She's like, imagine the paper is infinite, that space that the paper holds. It's not just confined into that rectangle. And imagine that whole paper represents knowledge. She's like, your little circle is how much knowledge you contain. My big circle is how much knowledge I contain. And she said, but look at how much unknown knowledge my circle touches. She's like, that's the knowledge I see. You see very little. So you see that there's knowledge that you don't know, but you don't see as much unknown as I do. She's like, that's why I'm so much more open to learning more, because I want to keep expanding, because I'm so curious because of how much unknown I see all the time. My brain just exploded at that moment. And I was like, you know what? I need to be more open-minded. I need to ask more questions. And I think that pairs up perfectly with the positive mental feedback loop. Even if you don't know how you're going to get through a process, realize that it's going to expand your knowledge. You're going to learn how to thirst for more, and you're going to learn how to learn, which is even cooler than the knowledge in the first place. Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Mark Jancic with Active Duty Passive Income, and if you found value in watching this video, remember this is a veteran-owned channel, military-owned channel. I'm still active duty as of the recording of this video, so please like, subscribe, comment, whatever you can to help support our channel. It means a lot, because then we can reach a larger audience just by you engaging on our video. And also, don't forget to read the description below, because it has a ton of links to a ton of awesome content, a ton of free stuff that we have produced, and also you might have some links to some Amazon books and other content that is third party. If you do click on that, we may or may not get a commission depending on which one you click. So just so you know, I'm throwing that out there. That really supports our channel too, so that's why we put it there. But know that we wouldn't put a link to anything that we don't actually believe in, or we have used, or we like, or whatever. So there you go. Again, Mark Jancic is out. See you later.